Can everyone hear me okay? Hello, welcome to my kitchen for our lockdown number 4 cooking class. I'm just emceeing today. I cannot take any credit for putting this class together. I have been very lucky and I've just come back from a 7-day retreat, which I got back from late last night. So I was completely oblivious of everything that was happening back home. And in the last couple of days, the team just went, right, people need something to entertain them in lockdown. People with Thermomixes need inspiration. People without Thermomixes need to know why they need a Thermomix. Let's just throw this class together. So I'm so proud of them because they kind of all went, I'll make this, I'll make that. And it really stemmed from, well, what have I got in my pantry as well? So, I've been wanting to make this for a while, or I'll make this and that'll be my family's dinner. So they've all come together and you're going to see 5 amazing dishes today from 5 amazing consultants. So I'm lucky enough to be the team leader of the Crusaders, where I'm not going to say Bayside, we're kind of all over a little bit. So, and I did have a look at, there's quite a few of you on today from all over as well. I know the majority of you are Thermomix owners, but there are a few non-owners here. And there are a few people here who own a Team 31 or a Team 5. So,
oh, Alex,
for those
I need you, sweetie.
Hello. For those of you who are already a Thermomix owner, whichever model you have, the language is the same. So the language of time, temperature, speed is the same. For those of you who don't have a Thermomix, what we're talking about when we say time, temperature, speed is that is the simplicity of how all the recipes are written. So whatever you're making, whether it be something really simple or whether it be something really complex, all you need to do is do time, temperature, speed. So it makes it really easy to be a gourmet chef with not a lot of effort. So we do have a hashtag that we say the humble brag. So it means you can be, do the humble brag and make amazing things. So a little bit of information for those who don't own a Thermomix, the price of a TM6, or for those who are Team 31 or Team 5 owners and going, well, should I upgrade? Why should I upgrade? The price of the TM6 is $2269, and until the 8th of June, we have a special offer where you can also buy with your TM6 a second bowl. Now, people with previous models, a lot of you have second bowls, and we often hear, I'm not going to upgrade until I can get a second bowl. So this is your chance. The offer goes until the 8th of June. However, it is until stocks last. And I imagine our stocks were actually going okay, but I imagine that this lockdown might make that happen quite quickly. So please reach out to your consultant, the person who invited you today, to ask about that. And if you would like to purchase, she can send you an order link today and you can have that Thermomix on your bench. Officially 7 to 10 days, but we're actually finding it's about a week at the moment. So we can get that on your bench, potentially before the lockdown's finished. So there's also different payment options available. So you can make a single payment. You can pay 3 payments over 3 months on a credit card. And we do also have a 24-month interest-free payment plan. If you'd like to know more about that, please reach out and we'll send you the details of that. But we also have another offer where you can join the team and earn your Thermomix. So if that is something that interests you, please also either reach out to me directly or ask your consultant and she'll put you in touch with me or your local team leader as well. So is there anything else you'd like me to cover at the start, or shall we kind of continue chatting as we go?
Reckon we can chat as we go along.
As we go, beautiful. Now we have got you guys muted. There's 67 of you on today, and there was about 86 registered, so other people might join. But not because we don't want to hear from you, just because obviously with the background noise, it makes it hard to hear everybody else. But if you do want to ask a question, there is a chat box. So pop some questions in the chat box. If you don't want to use a chat box, take yourself off mute and shout out a question. We're more than happy with that as well. And I mentioned before about earning a Thermomix. If you'd like to know more about that, I will stay on at the end of this class and I can answer any questions about that as well. So but without further ado, as they say, we're going to head over to the gorgeous Denise in Mentone, and she's going to I'm going to let her announce what she's making. So I'll send you over to Denise now.
Hi, everybody. Sound okay? Sound check?
Check.
Check. Awesome. Good. So welcome everybody today to my kitchen in Mentone. We haven't done a virtual cooking class for so long, and it's so great to actually be able to engage with our teams again this way. And so many of my customers have said to me, oh my gosh, when are you doing another one of those classes? We love them so much. So here we are today, and really grateful to be here with all of you. So because we were doing a lockdown theme today, we were kind of thinking about what is in the pantry, like Michelle was saying. And interestingly enough, when I went, no, I've got some chicken drumsticks, and I looked up, I went, oh, a chicken cacciatore. It came up in the search on Cookie-Doo. And when I looked up what cacciatore means, and probably Michelle, you can say something about this because it's Italian, it actually means cooking something in a spicy tomato sauce. And that's kind of it. So whatever you want to put in that spicy sauce, and you might find that when you're looking at cacciatore recipes, that they're actually really varied. And my idea was that they always had olives in them, but there are recipes that don't have olives in them. So literally you can put in whatever is in your pantry, which is what our theme is all about. And the background of the cacciatore, or the cacciatore, I don't know how you pronounce it. My daughter, who's camera woman today, is Italian. She could tell me. Is that the history is that it's anything that a hunter might have. So it's one of those hunter style recipes. You might have heard of a hunter stew, which is anything that a hunter might be able to carry with them. So basically you could put anything in this recipe. And I'm actually going to alter this recipe today because there are some different types of recipes. And the reason I chose this one is because it's got cooking times for drumsticks, which was the particular kind of chicken that I had. All right, so I'm going to start off with chopping of the fresh herbs. It is a spicy sort of herby sauce. This particular recipe just asks for parsley, but some of the recipes ask for basil as well. And I love basil, so I'm chucking both in. Yeah, why not? Okay, so let's pop them in and follow the bouncy ball and hit next. So here we go. We're putting on the lid. Measuring cup is in, and 3 seconds, and we just do that lovely spin. Here we go. You can already hear that it's finished. You can really hear the Thermomix when it's finished having contact with the food. Now, for 3 seconds of chopping, I could not have done that probably in at least 3 minutes. My gosh, it's just so fine. One of the most beautiful things about the Thermomix and its chopping action. Now, this actually, before I do this, I should say, transfer to a separate bowl and set aside. So follow the bouncy ball. A lot of people I know just automatically, when they take off the lid, they scrape down, and then sometimes it says just add something else, and they actually don't need to scrape down. But I do know that because I've pre-read the recipe that I need to pop this out into a bowl. So I'm going to do that. Here it comes out into a bowl, and you don't need to scrape it really clean because we don't need to wash the bowl between this action and the next. But the reason that I want to take this out is because this particular recipe adds it back in at the end to maintain the freshness of the herbs. And I think Michelle will probably attest to that. But some recipes actually leave the herbs in at the beginning and just cook them in. So really you could do it either way. Alrighty, so here we go with sort of, the main part of the base of the recipe. So onions going in. Again, this recipe did not have garlic, but some do, and I like garlic, so I'm chucking that in as well. And around about 100 grams of onions. My onion was a little bit over, so I'm like, yeah, I like onion. I'm just going to leave that in. Next, 100 grams of carrots. This is around about the maximum size that you can put in for carrots. For hard veg, for anyone who is not familiar, it just needs to be able to fit through the hole in the lid. So there we go, maximum size that goes in. Such a small amount of chopping. Alrighty, then celery. It says 100 grams of celery. My family aren't big on celery, so I'm minimizing that, and I'm actually going to instead add some capsicum at the end. So I'm going to, and mushrooms as well. So I'm going to take up the lack of 100 grams here with some other things, and you could have left that out entirely if you didn't want that. All right, so here we go with lid, insert the measuring cup. Next, 4 seconds of chopping, love it. Now scrape down. We do want to do a scrape down here. Waiting for those robotic arms to open up. Oh, look at that. Wow. Just never ceases to amaze me. It's always a wow factor. How long would it have taken me to have actually done that myself? Way too long. And the other great thing is that 100% of the flavor is in that bowl instead of being on my hands or on my chopping board or on my bench top. Amazing. Chopping is actually one of the places where we release a lot of time savings. People are often saying, I really want to release a lot of time. Chopping and food prep is one of those spaces. Okay, so here we go, ready with our oil. I'm sure Michelle would probably not even bother to measure it, being Italian and also like swisho, but I am going to measure mine in. So 40 grams.
Just a flick of the wrist, Denise.
Flick of the wrist.
Or a
My
couple
name's
of
Jenny
flicks.
Oliver. Look, there you go. I'm going to be Italian. I'm going to put in more than what it says. There you go. I couldn't be more Irish with my Murphy background. There we go. All right, so here we go. Now this recipe is also adding the chicken in with the initial cooking of the onion and the base. Some of the recipes don't do that, but this particular one does. And I think it's because we have drumsticks. So we need to get a bit more heat into the chicken that's got the bone on it. And I do have to say, just a little tip here as well, is that when I went to prep this food about an hour ago, my husband had frozen the drumsticks. So I was like, oh my. So I threw them into sort of a partial defrost, because you know how sometimes when you defrost things in the microwave, they come out par cooked. I didn't want that to happen. So I par defrosted them, and then I put them into some just lukewarm water to overall raise the general temperature. And how did I know that they were ready? I put my meter probe into them to see if they were defrosted. So I hadn't actually done that before, and I just thought that was, you know, a really kind of cool idea, because I was wondering, how will I know? Because if you put them semi-frozen into this dish, it will alter the cooking time. They will not cook in the right time. So there's a little hint for everyone. All right, chicken thighs. Alrighty, so I've got 3 chicken thighs going in, which is approximately 400 grams. They're actually slightly under 400 grams. As you can see there, because my drumsticks are over. So there's next, and it's asking for the drumsticks to go in. Now, when I first put really big bits of drumstick into a Thermomix bowl, I went, no way is this going to cook properly. But you would be totally amazed. I actually had 6 or 7 drumsticks in there for a curry. I think it's called the fragrant chicken curry. It is sublime, absolutely sublime. And they all just rotate around in there. It's really amazing. So big pieces of meat on the bone can go in your Thermomix. All right, on we go with the lid, and then we have a 10-minute cooking cycle where everything is going to start heating up beautifully, including the base and the chicken starting to cook together. So there we go. So there's the first 3 steps of the recipe, and I'll see you back in about 10 minutes. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Denise. Do you know, a little bit of trivia, the first chicken cacciatore I made in the TM31 was with drumsticks. And that was from the recipe community 8 years ago. And I was so amazed that I could cook drumsticks in the Thermomix. So there you go.
Amazing.
So we're going to head over to the gorgeous Milan now. There she is, for some yummy treats, lockdown treats.
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. My name is Milan Solaria, and thank you for joining me in my kitchen in Waterways. What we are making today are the Portuguese tarts. They are absolutely beautiful. Julie and I have been wanting to make them for such a long time, but every time we decide to make them, COVID lockdown happens. So it's the first time I'm making it, so let's see how we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the recipe, which is on cookie dough. So we go Portuguese-style custard tarts. Start cooking. Preheat the oven to 200 degrees, which I have done. After that, we need to grease 12 whole muffin trays. You know, so I've got the muffin tray, and we've actually just, you know, put the oil in here and greased it. I have greased it with this little lovely thing I got from the mix shop, and if put oil in there, and all you do is spray it and you grease your muffin trays, which is a really beautiful tool. Okay, once we've done that, we need to start the recipe. The first thing is we put rind of half a lemon. So that is lemon rind. It goes straight in, and press the next button. Then we put about 120 grams of white sugar. So I have pre-weighed it. So this is 120 grams of white sugar. Goes in. Okay. Next, 2 tablespoons of corn flour. So this is 2 tablespoons of corn flour. What we're making here is actually the custard part of the tart. Next, we put the lid in, and it goes for 20 seconds on speed 9.
So while that's doing that, I'll just talk about that speed, because what we often talk about with Thermomix is that it's the function. So up at that speed, you're pureeing, you might be making a green smoothie, you might be pureeing a pumpkin soup, you might be making a cocktail. So it's so varied as to what you can do when you're at that high speed.
Absolutely. And this is beautiful sugar. It's amazing how the sugar has grounded so beautifully. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. So if we press the next step, they want us to use a spatula, which comes with your Thermomix, and we scrape it down a little bit to get all the custardy things together. And I'll show you in a second what it looks like.
And
So
how good does it smell, Milan, with the lemon rind in the sugar?
Oh, it smells divine. Absolutely divine. It's absolutely gorgeous. So there it is. That's how gorgeously it's done. So what we're going to do next is we are going to follow 1 egg. So I have got 1 egg in here with the whites. We put that in like boom. Next, it's so easy to cook because all you have to press is next, and it just does it for you. These are the 2 egg yolks. So I have got this in there. The leftover whites I have, I'm going to make a pavlova today. So I'm going to put it in that, the egg whites. So that's done. Next, we put 400 grams of full cream milk. So I have pre-measured the milk in here, and we're going to pour it in here instead of on my bench top. So what we're actually doing right now is preparing the custard part. So we've done that. Then insert the measuring cup, which is this guy here. And next we're going to be for about 7 minutes on 90 degrees. It's going to cook on speed 4. I need to get my glasses on. So 7 minutes, 90 degrees and speed 4, and it's going to actually make the custard. So what we're going to do after that, do you guys, Michelle, do you want to go to the next person and come back in 7 minutes?
Absolutely. We are going to go to the gorgeous Linda, who is making her debut today presenting. I'm very excited for her. So we're going to go to Linda and we'll be back to you soon.
Okay,
Thanks,
see you.
Hi, Linda. Oh, can't hear you, hun. Linda, can't hear you. How's your cameraman going there? While you're figuring that out, now someone who's called SD here had raised their hand. Have you got a question?
Hey,
you're welcome to unmute
that
yourself.
off mute.
No, we've got you now.
Ah, excellent, excellent, fantastic. Well, today I am cooking. What I said was, welcome to my very compact kitchen. Today I'm making a very much a favourite in our house. It's a Mexican 1-pot pasta. So I will start. So I've already got it in my week today. So here we go. So I'll just tear off my scales. And then I've got my cheddar cheese already cut into chunks here. So 72, so it's between it. And then next, yeah, I knew I had to put it on, so okay. And then now I'm going to set feed 7. So
Linda, you've spoken to me about this dish before, and I've had it on my list and I haven't made it yet, so I'm sure you'll inspire me to make it.
okay. So bang. This is what 5 seconds in the cheese and Thermomix does to go to juice. It's fantastic. It says transfer into a bowl and set aside, only for me for ease and convenience. Oh, I've got a second bowl. I'm just going to use that instead.
So clever.
Yeah. Okay. So then the next step, I'm not using onion because my partner's allergic, so we don't. But so therefore, in here I've got green capsicum. It says 1, and I've got 2, and then I've also got zucchini as well. So this is all going to take over from the onion. So, and that's actually supposed to go in the pot, not all over the bench. but that's okay. It's all in there now. Okay, next. Okay, I have got 2 garlic cloves there. And then this is a quick one. It's only up to speed 6% for 2 seconds. So right around. Now I've got to scrape down the sides. Scraping down is really good because at least it shows you if it's all chopped up. And look at that. It certainly is. So it doesn't need to be scraped down. Well, a little.
So what you've seen so far with both Linda and Denise is they're both following a guided recipe, but they're using ingredients they've got, or they're substituting things to work around allergies. So although there's guided recipes, you're still fully in control of what you put in your recipes.
Absolutely. Good point. Thanks, Michelle. Okay. Now I've got to put in 20 grams of olive oil. Yes, I can't do it as well as you either, Michelle. So
I don't know about that. But Alex has been complimented for his camera techniques there as well.
yes, no, he's good. Now, this now calls for ground cumin, and it also calls for oregano. So I've just put the 2 together. So I'll just put them all in. Love the smell of cumin. Okay, and now put that on. And speak to.
Beautiful. Well, while that's...
So are you going to stay with me or come back?
Well, I think we're going to pop over to Denise actually, because she can do her next step, but we will be back with you very shortly. So thanks for that so far, Linda. You've inspired me already to make that. So we'll head to Denise and we'll see you again shortly.
No problem. Bye. See you soon.
Hi, Dee. We're back with you.
Hi, awesome. The timing was so perfect. It literally stopped like 2 seconds ago. In fact, I was actually going to say, come over and have a look at the things going around, the drumsticks, but it literally finished about 10 seconds ago. So let's have a look. You can see that this chicken has already had quite a good cook.
You're going to get better.
And we're going to follow the bouncy ball next. There isn't much to scrape down really. Most of that flavour is down in the bottom of the bowl. And I may find that I might get a little bit of shredding on my chicken thighs because the recipe did say to have them with skin on, but the only ones I could find, well, the ones I had in my fridge were with the skin off. So that's where we're at with that. Now we're up to the, my favourite bit of the show, the red wine. Glug, 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 glug. Alrighty, I've just done some of my... What? Oh, well, yes, here, this one. This one for me. That's for later. And this one for the recipe. Okay, so 50 grams. Some recipes use white wine. Some use red wine. There's about 57 in there. There's a little bit of extra there for the Italian in Michelle. And it really doesn't matter. It just gives it a little bit of an extra kick in the flavour profile. And then 1 sprig of fresh rosemary. Thank you to my girlfriend Lynn, who dropped these in my mailbox the other day. Every time she goes on a walk, she drops me some fresh herbs from her garden. Thank you. And they ask you to take this out later. So that's why I'm leaving it whole. So in that goes. And then next. Now without the measuring cup, because we're going to burn off the alcohol that's in the wine and just leave the flavour. And we cook this for 5 minutes. There we go. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Dee. We're going to go back to the gorgeous Milan now because I'm guessing that her custard is ready.
Yeah, it's still got 37 seconds to go. So just give us all we're going to be doing after 37 seconds is put the vanilla paste in there and let it go for another 2 minutes. So you want to come back in about 2 minutes?
Oh, okay, sure. Well, why don't we pop over to Olivia because Olivia is making us a raw Lamington slice and then you can set out when you're ready. Hi, Olivia.
Kitchen and Eats lately. I thought I'd just do a quick recap of the screen as well for people.
Olivia?
You can hear me?
Yeah, you just sound a bit possessed.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but it's very croaky.
Different computer. So join me in 2 minutes.
All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll come back to me for a minute. Or Linda, is your have you finished sautéing?
I'm pretty sure Denise's one only stirs for 10 seconds, the vanilla paste.
Milan, you mean?
Milan. Who did I say? So I don't know. Do you want us to go back to you, Milan?
All right, hang on. I'm going to come back for me for a second. You guys could work that out. Just, you know, a few tech issues. We haven't done this for a while. And it's all about getting the timing right. So, and I have to say, writing a run sheet for this class is really tricky, as you probably find out. And we do say to people, if you're not paying attention, you miss what's going on, which is why we always, the people cooking, have a little sign as what we're up to. So, but otherwise it'd be boring if you watch one person do one thing for half an hour. There's a lot of downtime. So we really write the run sheet that it's almost, as you saw with Denise, she's like, oh, it just finished that second. So we do kind of write it to the second so you're not bored and it keeps you on your toes. So sometimes sound things, you know, when we first started doing this, those sort of things used to quite worry me. And then I was watching, you know, the ABC News, and they'd go to a professor of something and they had bad sound, and they'd go, we're going to have to go back to that person. So if it can happen in the studio, it can happen in our homes, that's for sure. So girls, sing out who can go next, or I can show Cookie Do now if we need to. If you need
I can go next, Michelle. It's Milan here.
Beautiful. We'll go to you, Milan. Excellent.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, guys, the custard I have just taken out from the jug, which has turned out absolutely beautiful because the instructions said transfer into a ceramic bowl or a glass bowl and cover with the plastic, so we don't want to form the little skin on top. So we have just done that. Okay, in the meantime, what they want us to do is I'm going to bring you a little bit towards this side of the kitchen. You can either make your own puff pastry, or you can actually use just the store-bought puff pastry. Cut the puff pastry sheet in half. So with a knife, you will cut it in half, like so, and have it as 2 sheets like that. After that's done, you press next, and the instruction is starting at the short edge, roll the pastry tightly into a log. I shall show you what we're going to do. So that is one half of the pastry sheet. That is the other half of the pastry sheet. So we put them on top of each other like so. You know, these Portuguese tarts are between $7 to $8 in the shops. So now we have got 2 on top of each other, right? So what they want us to do now starting at the shorter edge, roll the pastry into a tightly tight roll. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to tighten this and do a roll. Hope you guys can see it. Oh, my phone's fallen off. Okay, so I'm actually rolling it. It is, somebody said, isn't that the other edge? I actually do it this way. The thing is, with Thermomix, they will tell you to do it in a certain way, and something might work better for you. So what I do is I put it like a log like this, and then I wrap it back in this plastic, and you can put it in the fridge or the freezer for next time. So what you do is, this is out of the fridge. This is the log that came out. Now we lay the pastry and cut the cut side up. Now there's 4 or 5 different ways of doing this part. I do it this way, and I'll show you how I do it. So once this rolled pastry has come out of the freezer, I cut it in half. I mean, I haven't made this before, but this is how I believe I have done something else. I will do about 6 or so on one side. So see this part? That's where the crust is going to form. So this is how it got rolled. And that's why I do it this way on the long edge, even though it said the short edge, and I think somebody picked it up beautifully. But I do it this way because it just happens in one hit. Then we do 6 more. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is the trick I normally do. So this edge, the one that's nice and beautifully and crusty, I put it in the flour, and which it will tell you here, lay the pastry cut side up on a silicone bread mat and blah, blah, blah. And using a rolling pin, you do it as a 10 centimeters. So as a rolling pin, I will make little rounds about 10 centimeters.
Good
I've already
skills,
done.
Milan.
Hey,
Good skills.
it is. And it's the first time I'm doing it. I have done this part with other recipes, but this particular recipe, never done it before. So again, with the palm of your hand, you press it down, and again, do another one. I'm going to show you a couple because I'm going to show you how we're going to put them in the tray now. It's good considering, Michelle, it's $8 in the shops. A friend of mine,
They used to be one of my favorite things to buy in a pastry shop, and now I put them and go, oh my gosh, I can make a whole batch for that price.
Absolutely. And this is what I've done. I've pre-done some of them in here, but I'll show you how I do it. I get my little, this we got from the mix shop, a little spray spritzer, I guess. Spritz your tray with that. And then all you do is put this little disc inside, and that's what it tells you. So using a rolling pin, do that. Then push the pastry molds into the mold and divide. Okay, so what we're doing is we are putting this in each one of them. So just throw it in and put it around. So this is what it looks like.
Beautiful. And it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. Like the little pleats are all part of it, aren't they?
Absolutely. And you know what I do? All these leftovers, and if I don't want to make them, I put them in one of these little roll things, and I put them in the freezer for next time. So this one gets rolled up, and and next time you want to make something, you will have this, or you can have a rolled up version like that, which is just ready, especially for my kids. They just come, take it out and get into it. Okay, now we're going to divide the custard in all these pastry shells. So let's get the custard. You need to cool it down a little bit, which it has cooled down quite a bit. So what I will do is I'll probably do one or two to show you how to do it.
Yeah,
and then,
I think Olivia might be ready. So once you've done those two, we'll pop back to her.
Absolutely. So all I've done is I am putting this custard we have just made in these. I will continue doing that in my break while you go to Olivia, and we fill up about this much, and we bake for 20 minutes on 200 degrees Celsius or until they are brown. So what I'm going to do is while you go over there to Olivia, I'm going to fill all these up, put them in the oven and take them out and show you this beautiful Portuguese tart.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We'll see you again shortly.
See ya.
There you are, Olivia. Hi.
Hi, can you see me all right now and hear me?
See and hear you perfectly.
Okay, I can't see myself because this laptop's a bit dodgy on the video. So anyway.
So you just want to tilt it down a little bit.
Yep.
If you can, because we can just see the top. They're perfect. Yeah, because we can just see the top half of the Thermomix. Now we can see you and the Thermomix.
Hi, everyone. I was actually going to bring you in a bit closer because I know there's a few people who haven't seen a Thermomix before. So I was going to bring you in and show you the screen and the different modes that are here. Is that all right like that? Can you see the screen?
Perfect.
Great. Okay, so this is the home screen when you turn your Thermomix on. And as Michelle said, you've got time, temperature and speed. So you can use the Thermomix for manual cooking. You can convert your own recipes. You can just use it to help you chop up some veggies. Or if you scroll to the right on this sort of mini iPad you've got here, you've got a load of different cooking modes. So you've got scales, you've got a dough mode for kneading, turbo mode for blitzing, the pre-clean mode, which is a favorite for pretty much cleaning your bowl by itself, blend for making smoothies and things. It's got an egg boiler mode, a kettle, you can use it as kettle, warm-up mode, thicken for things like hollandaise or béarnaise sauce or custards that Milan just made, a rice cooker, there's more here, oh, it's gone different, scroll up, fermentation mode for making yogurt or yogurt, as I say, a slow cooker mode and a sous vide mode. And these modes get updated automatically because your Thermomix is connected to Wi-Fi. So often there'll be a software update and there'll be new modes added. If we go back to the home screen and we scroll the other way, you can go into Cookie Do. So that's where all of these recipes are saved. So you can search directly from your machine, or as I've done, I've saved some recipes through the app on my phone. And today I'm going to be cooking the raw Lamington slice. So you can go in here, see your diary for the week, see what you're going to be cooking. It's really great for meal planning. And then I just select the recipe I'm going to make and click it on the screen. So for every recipe, it's got a difficulty level, it's got a hands-on cooking time and a total time. And then it's got all of your instructions, your ingredients, your nutritional information, and hints and tips. So I thought I'd just show that quickly because I know there's some people who haven't seen a Thermomix before. And if I click start cooking, it's telling me step by step, line a baking tray, which I've already done, a little tin. Next, it's asking me to put in 200 grams of raw cashews. So just literally going to chuck those in the bowl. There we go, that'll do. 100 grams of coconut. Next, 50 grams of coconut oil. So I just measured this stuff out earlier just to save a little bit of time, but you could do it straight from the jar or straight from the pot into the bowl. Some maple syrup. So there we go. I'm just going to pour that straight from here, 50 grams. The scales measure in 1 gram increments. So for this, it's not hugely important, but if you're doing really high-tech work on baking, you want that. And then just 2 teaspoons of vanilla bean paste. So I've got one of these tubes. It's pretty handy to have, makes it easy. And I might just squirt that in and guess that's about 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. And then it tells me put your lid back on with the measuring cup in place. So pop the lid on. Next, and it's asking me to turn the speed, select dial to speed 8 for 15 seconds.
So that's a beautiful thing about this, and we talked before about it being guided recipes, but you're in control. So that said 2 teaspoons. If you are someone who likes to get out measuring spoons, please do that. But if you are a bit of a 1, 2, you know, 1, 2, that'll do, then please be authentic to who you are as a cook.
So you can see, I'll just show you what that's done in 15 seconds. It's mixed up all of that beautiful, it's ground up the cashews, mixed them with the coconut oil and coconut, scrape down the sides just to make sure it's properly mixed. And then I'm going to do one more mix for another 15 seconds.
These sorts of dishes are fantastic for, you know, as allergy-friendly ones, but they're actually really just delicious treats, and knowing that you're having something a bit healthy. And the beautiful thing about these sorts of treats is that they're quite rich. So, you know, when you eat maybe a Tim Tam, you don't want to stop at 1, you might eat 3 or 4. With these sorts of things, you can make it and have a piece, and you might have a second piece, but they're quite rich. So they're very satisfying, and they give you that same hit that we're all looking for without the calories of 4 Tim Tams.
So I'll show you there. It's created a really lovely paste now, which the next step is just to push that into the tin. So I'm going to push it down, and then I'm going to pop it in the freezer for 20 minutes to firm it up before you'll come back and see me melt some chocolate to go on top.
Brilliant. Do you know, I've watched this being made with Julie as well, and I still haven't made it. It's on the list. It'll be a lockdown one.
Second time I made it. It's delicious.
Oh, beautiful. Love it. Well, I think we'll pop back now to Linda to do the next step of her Mexican one-pot pasta. Hey, Linda.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, well, it's all been cooked. So now we're just now into the adding stage of pasta. So I've got my 300 grams of pasta. It's just a collection of what was left over, sort of bits and pieces. Doesn't really matter. So 300 grams. And then this thing called for black beans, rinsed and drained, which I've done. But then I also added corn because, you know, it just adds to the colour of the whole dish, and plus we like it. I do not exceed the maximum fill line on this dish, so I know that I can add it. Yeah, Chipotle chilies, never in my house. Chilies do not enter the front door. Okay. Canned crushed tomatoes. So there they are. So they're going in. Chunk. And then we've got a teaspoon of white sugar to counter the texture of the tomatoes. 600 grams of water.
Now, Linda, thank you for using the maximum fill line. Somebody just asked where that was, and I thought, Alex, if you pop your camera over, you can actually see where it says max. So that's the maximum fill line right there. So if you think, thanks for mentioning that, particularly for making up their own recipes or adding in extra ingredients. So if you think of your Thermomix like a temperature controlled saucepan, you would never fill a saucepan to the brim and boil away. So, you know, you'd leave that inch for your food to bubble away. So it's the same thing with your Thermomix.
Thanks. Now, also, I've got my veggie stock, which never looks good, but I assure you it's good. It's good. And then, see the simmering basket I used to drain off the black beans, I'm now going to just reuse that because I'm taking that out and putting that on. And then now, all I have to do now is cook for 15 minutes. So I'll see you when it's finished for plating.
Beautiful. How easy is that? Beautiful, beautiful. Thanks, Linda. We'll see you again shortly. We're going to pop over to
Hey guys.
Denise for her next step. Hey, Dee.
Hi. Oh, caught. Oops. Caught with the red wine. I caught with the red wine in hand. Alrighty, guys. So my 5 minutes here of burning off the alcohol in that wine finished quite a while ago. So I just put it back on for another minute just to bring that temperature back up again to around about 100. Alrighty, so our next step is that it is asking for the tin of tomatoes. So, you know, what pantry doesn't have a good tin of tomatoes in it during lockdown particularly? So they're just oh so useful. You could also use plum tomatoes in here, it says, which would be, I guess, give you a nice sweetness to it. So I'm going to add that 400 grams. Throw that straight in. Beautiful. This is where we get to check whether Mona has shortchanged us. Oh, 4 grams. Oh no, there's probably a couple of grams in there, but I'm not going to scrape that out yet. Okay. And then some sea salt. Now that says fine sea salt. I just did think of interest. A lot of people may have been seeing kosher salt in recipes, particularly if you're using all of the English recipes in Cookie Dough. If you've chosen that as a filter, you might be getting a lot of US recipes, and a lot of them use kosher salt. And I've been thinking, I don't know, do you find this, Michelle? But I was like, where does one find kosher salt? I've been looking, and I found it the other day at the Oasis Bakery that have got all of those fantastic imported products. You can probably get it at other places, Michelle. You might have seen it around. I know you go to a lot of the international grocers. But anyway, so there's the kosher salt, which people may have been wondering about. But I'm also, instead of adding salt, I'm just going to add some of our veggie stock paste because it adds flavor as well as adding salt. So you can see I'm quite low. I make a big amount of it all the time. I'm a bit low on mine. So I'm going to add maybe, this is what, 1.5 teaspoons. So I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons worth of that in instead of actually adding salt. I'm going to leave the pepper out because my children find that a bit hot. I'll add that separately at the end. Then in comes the reserved herbs. Okay, so we're going to give them not, you know, like the cooking of the entire recipe, just this last 20 minutes. And some recipes might add it in the last 5 even actually. So they go in. And then it says to cook, but a lot of the recipes then add some extra ingredients that don't take as much cooking. So I'm going to add these because I really want these in my recipe as well. So I'm going to add in capsicum and some mushrooms. And the recipes normally have these sliced, but I'm going to put them in big bits because children will want to fish those out. And the same with the olives. They're going to want to fish them out as well. Does anyone else have a family like that? Yeah, I bet you there's some nodding heads if I could see everybody. Okay, so in they go. And then we are going to do our long cooking cycle of 20 minutes. I'll make sure that I put my MC back on. Isn't it lovely how it turns it on to reverse automatically? And then it's just on the spoon speed, just that very gentle stirring spoon speed. So now I've got 20 minutes. What will I do? Oh, yes. Got. Okay, see you soon.
Thanks so much, Denise. Now, I just asking about the kosher salt. So straight from Google, I will share with you that it has a wider, coarser grain than a table salt. And what that does is it's gentler with your food than table salt, and it enhances the flavour instead of making them taste salty, because the kosher salt has no iodine, which can lend a bitter taste to foods, which is what the table salt has. So there you go. That's there. And I have seen that in a lot of US recipes. There was also something to do with it, it draws the moisture from meat. So because it's a kosher salt, a coarser salt rather, that you put it on meat if you want to draw the liquid from it. So there you go. That's a little lesson for everyone today. Do we need to go back to, are you ready for us now, Olivia? Oh yes, you can see the side.
It is very coarse and grainy.
Beautiful. Right, we're back with you, Olivia.
Oh, great. Okay.
A little bit lower so we can see the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Sorry, move this other way.
Thank you.
So I just pushed down the that lovely slice mixture, raw slice mixture, into the tray. I popped it in the freezer just to set it. And the next step is to add 100 grams of dark chocolate into the bowl. Click next. Pop the lid on. And again, I've just used my second bowl, so it is a bonus, and you don't have to clean your bowl. It's going to grate it for 10 seconds at speed 9, so it's going to be a bit noisy. Just show you how finely that's grated that blocks of chocolate, if you can see there. Could just whack in some milk and make a chocolate milkshake, but I'm just going to scrape it down. So that speed 9 or speed 10 really mills stuff very finely. So things like spices, you can grind your own spices. Next, pop the lid on, and it's going to cook it for 3 minutes at 50 degrees on speed 2.
Beautiful. Well, while that's melting that chocolate, maybe we'll pop over to me and I can show people cookie dough. That'll take about 3 minutes. Here I am. Hi, what's everyone think so far? I know there's been a little bit of action in the chat box and different people are popping things in, but have you added things to your list that you haven't made before? What I wanted to do is, Olivia gave an amazing introduction and sort of viewing of the TM6. So what I'm going to do, is actually just share my screen with you and show you what people really love about the TM6, which is the guided cooking. So let me just go into share. There we go. Let's go back to the start. There we go. Can everyone see that? So I'll just log in. And what you'll see is it says, hello, Michelle. So what cookie dough is, for those of you who are not TM6 owners, so previous models or non-owners, cookie dough is like our Netflix for recipes. So what you have access to through cookie dough is over 64,000 recipes across about 20 countries. So what that means is that when you get a TM6, you get 6 months free subscription. And from there, it's only $49 per year to access all of those recipes. So for example, the recipe that Denise is using today is actually from a collection in the UK. So what you'll find is, I said it's across about 20 countries. What you'll find is about 8,000 to 9,000 of those are in English, but you can use Google Translate and different things if you wanted to access those other recipes, but there are so many in English that you will be spoilt for choice. What a lot of us do, and what we do recently gave us the ability to do, was tailor your platform to you. So for example, if you're vegetarian, you can tailor it to vegetarian and it will suggest meals to you that are vegetarian. You can tailor it to whether you have dietary requirements like gluten-free, which countries you'd like to search in. So a lot of us have it set to the US and the UK and Australia because they're all in English. So you've got lots of different options there. The other thing you'll find is that it looks exactly the same here as it does on your screen of your Thermomix, which, as Olivia referred to, is like a mini iPad. So if I scroll down here, there's things that have been handpicked for me. Clearly it knows I have a bit of a sweet tooth there. Latest recipes, so things that have recently been added to the mix. I haven't seen this one before, baked pumpkin and beef stew, how delicious. So looking at that, I can click on these 3 little dots here and go, I'm going to add that to a collection. So you can create collections like you create playlists. And I've got a collection called Want to Try. So I'm going to add that in there. So when I'm looking for some inspiration, I can go down there. Here is guidelines on how to set up your personalized profile, and then recipes that have been most cooked this week. So lots of different information there. But when you're going on and you're meal planning and you want to cook, you've got a couple of options. So if you've got something in your pantry and your fridge, you go, do you know what? I've got some chicken. What am I going to make? You can pop in chicken there and you've got the option of all different things: enchiladas, salads, soups, curries, teriyaki, pasta dishes. The world is your oyster. So once you decide the one that you want to cook, as I mentioned before, you can go in here and I can go, oh yeah, I'm going to add that to my week. And I might make that next Wednesday, and I'll save that in there. And I'm going to add those ingredients to my shopping list as well. So there's lots of things you can do in here. And then when you go into my week, you've got your information. Now, as Olivia showed you, you can view your calendar in a couple of different ways. So you can look at it this way. So you've got your things spelled out. Now, if I was going to make this today and then I ran out of time, I can actually pop in here and go move to another day and pop it forward in the week as well. And you can do that also on the screen of your Thermomix. So you've got a lot of control directly through the screen of your Thermomix. And on your site, the side here, you can see that it's got my shopping list. So I can go show ingredients, and in showing the ingredients, I can tick off the things that I don't need to buy. So I can go, I've got some red wine, I've got the split peas, I don't have the sausages. So I can go through, tick off the things that I have, and then you're just left with the list that you need to buy. But you can pop down the bottom here and add in other things. So if you need dog food or cleaning products, or so maybe one night you're having a steak and salad, you can add your steak in there. So anything that's not part of the meal, you can actually also add in here as well. And then the magic button up here is the order ingredients. So by clicking order ingredients, it actually sends my list directly to Woolworths. I'm just pausing for a bit of opportunity for people to get excited. I know you're on mute, so I can't hear you, but I'm sure there was a big gasp of wow from those of you who are not aware of that. That feature was launched about 6 months ago, and it has been a massive game changer for a lot of us. Now, what it will do is it will default to a brand or a type. So you can go in and go, so this is Pampers Puff Pastry. If I don't like the Pampers brand, I could go in and go, do you know, I'm just going to buy the Woolworth one. It's half the price, and I can go in and I can select that, and it will then change that out for me as well. So you're still in control right at this point. And once you've finalised your list, add to your cart, and you can decide to either click and collect or have it delivered. So what do you think of that? Give me a bit of a thumbs up if you think that's super cool, because I think that's super cool. And sometimes when I tell people that you can do that, they think I'm pulling their leg, and I'm like, no, really, you actually can do that. So it has been a massive game changer. And and has got a lot of people who were not sure about Thermomix before going, yeah, I'm in, where do I sign? So if that's you today, please reach out to your consultant so she can help you out. Now, I'm sure I've spoken for more than 3 minutes. Anyone who knows me knows that that's not hard for me. So let's go back to Olivia, because I'm sure her chocolate is beautifully melted.
Yeah.
I was actually just literally pouring it out onto the base, which is set in the freezer. So you can see a lot of gooey, lovely melted chocolate. And I'm just spreading that out on here. And then I'm going to put some more desiccated coconut on top and pop it in the fridge to set. And it'll be about, I think, 20 minutes to be ready to chop up and eat. And I know I've heard this tip before, when you've melted chocolate, is to put a bit of milk in and then warm it up, and you've got a bonus hot chocolate. So I think I might do that too.
Definitely recommend that. And you can use the kettle mode for that, Olivia.
Right, I'll do that now.
Yeah, so if it's for you, you could set it for sort of that 80 degrees, which is what baristas would do milk at for adults. But if you're doing it for the kids, you'd set it at maybe 50 or 60.
No one's getting it. It's all for me.
So sometimes what I do, if we're making Milo for the whole family, you could fill the jug with Milo, and I'd set it for, say, 60, and then I'd pour theirs out when it reached 60, and then I'd put it back on and then put it for 80 for me. And Susie's giving you a little tip of the Irish hot chocolate, which I haven't even read it, but I bet it has alcohol in it, Susie. Anyway, thank you so much for that.
Just a little.
We'll pop over to the gorgeous, very patient, who is going to make us a little immune boosting juice, which I think at the moment is very on topic. So we'll pop over to you, Jules.
Thank you.
Find you at the top there. There you go. Hi.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Julie, and I actually always make hot chocolate for the kids on the weekend. So I've got so much leftover Easter eggs. So I've actually been grating the chocolate and then heating it up at 55 degrees. And if you like, you can even turn up the speed at the end for about 5 seconds on speed 7, just to give it that cafe, kind of frothy looking, hot chocolate. So we've got some spoiled kids around here. So I'm actually making the immune booster. So I thought it would be perfect timing. Weather's getting a bit cold, a few people getting a bit snifflies and everything. So why not make it? So I'll bring you up nice and close here to my screen. Hopefully you can see that okay. Can you? Is that okay? There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's actually really, really simple. Okay. So, and I'll let you know how simple it is. So the first recipe just asks you 2 lemons. Okay. I'm a bit lemon crazy. Give me lemons and I'm happy. So I love it from my lemon tree. Mum's got a lemon tree, and also whenever friends give me lemon, I make them lemon dessert. So that's what I do. So it just 2 lemons, flesh only, with the de-seeded and everything. Next option says 10 to 20 grams of ginger. So if anyone knows me, I've been to any of my our previous cooking classes, I like to actually buy ginger and slice it, and I pop it in the freezer, because ginger is really expensive and I find myself always forgetting about it, and it sits at the bottom of, at the end of the fridge, and it goes moldy. So I like to slice it and pop in the freezer. Okay. And 30 to 60 grams of honey. So we like to shop local. So I've got, if anyone's down in the peninsula, that's the honey that I like to use. So actually called a local flora, and I find it's actually a really good honey that helps our family if you have hay fever or anything like that. So since taking this, we haven't taken Telfast. So it's actually a really good honey. So I'll pop that in.
That's a great tip, Julie.
Yeah, so we save, we don't have to take, Telfast anymore. Can save money on that, and honey tastes good.
And I was talking to a nutritionist recently, and she was talking about the health benefits of honey when you buy your locally made honey, because when you buy it on a supermarket shelf, it's been processed within an inch of its life, so it always tastes the same. But honey doesn't always taste the same, because the bees make up their own recipe each time. So I thought that was just a really good message.
Yes, and the place in Pure Peninsula honey, they're so good. Before COVID, they actually take the kids through, show the hives, and actually go through everything. So that's it's pretty good. And this is 200 grams of chilled water. Okay, I'm a bit of a near enough, so it's a bit over. It does not matter. And then basically it's going to insert the measuring cup, and I'll blend for 2 minutes. So while that's blending, I just wanted to say that, like, you're not restricted to whenever you're making anything that you have to follow the recipe. Sometimes I have any sad looking, fruit. I put a little bit of coconut water or juice and throw all my fruit or veggies in it, and I'd blend it. And once I blend it, I'll let you see. I've got these little, I've had these for ages. They're little ice cream molds, and I actually fill it up with the juice, and it actually makes a really good healthy treat for your kids if you want to go for a non-preservative, less sugar kind of option. So that's what I normally like to do for the kids. So if after dinner they want a dinner treat, I'm like, go for it, grab an icy pole. So I'm going to let that blend, and once that finishes blending, it just asks me to strain that. So it's a well-loved, got lots of beetroot stain on it, but otherwise, yeah, I'm just going to blend for 2 minutes, and that's finished. That's all I had to do for my juice.
That's awesome. Well, we'll come back when you've done that. The other thing, the nutritionist made us the juice, and it was very similar, but she also put some raw turmeric in it.
Oh, yes.
Pepper. And we're saying that when you're cooking with the turmeric, to pop some pepper with it, and then you really absorb get those extra health benefits. So again, like we've said today, Julie's followed the recipe. Other girls have tweaked the recipes. You are really in control of what you do there.
That's right. There is actually a recipe that tells you to add the turmeric as well, and the pepper. Yeah. It's a good one. It's got a real kick to it.
Yeah, it does have a bit of a kick with the pepper. So probably, I think if we gave the kids pepper icy poles, they probably wouldn't really.
They didn't like it. There's only so, healthy. You can only push it so far.
That's right. Absolutely.
That's when you've gone overboard and they won't have it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Baby steps.
Exactly.
Now, are any of you girls ready to show us your dishes yet? Have you yours finished cooking, Linda? Not sure. All right, I'm going to come back to me for a second.
The tarts are ready, Michelle, if you want to focus on this one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go back to the tarts. They're my favourite.
The first time I've made them, I'm doing it on the phone today, so I'm going to reverse my phone and show tarts.
Oh my gosh, they look amazing.
And these tarts are going to a neighbor who's they had a bridal shower today, but because of all this, they had to cancel it. So we have just made a little high tea for them with all the things from the Thermomix, including the cookies and everything, and it's going to be a part of the tray. So yeah.
That looks absolutely beautiful, Milan. And those, have you tasted one in the interest of quality control?
Of course, Milan has to taste it. I've got a sweet tooth. Absolutely amazing. You know what? A friend of mine, Trudy, Sunday, two of my friends, we went out one day to Richmond and we bought this for $8. I cannot believe it that the whole thing didn't cost me $8 to make. So guys, do make these Portuguese tarts. Absolutely delish, absolutely amazing, and very flaky too. So enjoy.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Can you please take a photo for us?
Absolutely, I will.
Absolutely delicious, Milan. So
you guys.
I know there's Katrina on here has said she wants to be your neighbour. I know we don't even live within 5 kilometres of her, Katrina, so we can't even just go for a walk and pick up one either. So we'll have to make it right.
And thank you, Greg. Thanks for the compliment. I just got it. Thank you.
Thanks, Milan. Always a pleasure. Beautifully presenting. And I love what you're doing for your neighbour. You always do such beautiful giving things for people. You've got a big heart.
Thank you so much. It's just that she was so upset that she couldn't have the bridal shower. So we thought, why don't do a little high tea and take it over? So we did make the ones Olivia just made. We just made the Lamington slice this morning.
Ah, yum.
So we're going to put that in their tray as well. Just a little something to pamper them. So thank you guys. And I love the Thermomix. Absolutely adore it. And every recipe is so bloody easy. So, oops, Milan, who was that? Greg. Okay.
Typo.
All good. Okay,
right.
guys, over to the next person.
Thank you. Well, I think we'll go over to Linda. I think Linda's will be ready now. Are you ready, Linda? I'm going to replace the spotlight. There you are. I can't hear you. You must be muted, darling.
Am I muted?
Yeah, no, I've got you now. Perfect.
Okay, cool. Yep, no, we're all done. And I've plated up, and that's the pasta. So
you've got a bit of parmesan on the top there, or is that
no, that was the cheddar cheese I grated earlier.
cheddar cheese? Yeah.
Cheddar cheese and a bit of sour cream,
Yeah.
and bit of coriander, but this pasta, like this stuff in this bowl, it's I could have filled up 4 or 5 bowls this size. So it is certainly it's quite thick as well. What is this actually?
Yeah, it's quite a hearty meal, isn't it?
Oh yeah. So that's how it comes out.
Delicious.
Yep. Yeah, and it is. So this is a favourite of our house.
Oh,
So
I'm adding that to the list, Linda. Thank you so much.
that's all right. Thanks. See you, everyone. See you next time.
Well done on your first time presenting. I knew you'd just nail it. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I
And
appreciate
I'm
that.
making that dish. I'm making that dish.
Excellent.
Beautiful. And a little tip actually for those dishes where you cook the pasta in the sauce, if you're cooking for a crowd, rather than add that water component, because that's what cooks your pasta, you can double your sauce and then cook a big lot of pasta separately. So you can actually still make those dishes feed a bigger amount of people as well. Although, as Linda said, that's 6 serves in there, but if you want to feed a bigger crowd. No, that's not happening at the moment, of course, in lockdown, but, normal.
No, definitely.
Family, that's what we can do. Beautiful.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thanks, Linda. Speak to you soon, honey.
Okay, bye.
Are you ready to go?
Is that me?
Denise?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
All righty. Hi, everyone. Am I back? I'm back. Okay, great. That literally just finished, so the timing was perfect. It's been great timing today, guys. Thank you for that. Now,
everyone sort of comes in.
Okay. Alrighty, so you can see that I have had a bit of shredding of the thigh meat here, and that was because it didn't have the skin on, but that will be totally great. I've got one child that really likes the shredded chicken, and I'm really glad that I put the capsicum in here and the olives because it adds that extra color that you're looking for as well. And my drumsticks here are nice and intact, so that's really great. And I love the fact that there's all this beautiful yummy sauce in there because that is what is going to be soaked up by either the bread or the rice, or in my case the not capsicum, what am I going to make? Oh, cauliflower, the cauliflower rice that I'm going to put with it. And I just want to taste that. Oh wow, that is so flavorsome. That is really, really good. Okay, highly recommending this recipe, everyone. You can make it with virtually anything that is in your pantry. So hunt down your favorite herbs and spices and flavors and just throw it all in. And actually, to make this look a little nicer, I'm just going to dress it up, with some of that greenery on the top and a few beautiful herbs like this. There you go. Sometimes these stew type things, they don't look really fantastic, but they certainly do taste fantastic. So happy lockdown, everyone. Go and cook something nutritious. Bye.
Thanks, Denise. That looks absolutely amazing. Chicken cacciatore is actually a favourite in our house, and we serve it with anything from pasta to rice to mashed potato to cauliflower rice. So whatever side you've got, or sometimes it's pasta for the kids and cauliflower rice for us, or sweet potato mash is really good. So there's just lots of different things you can serve it with, and they soak up those juices, and it makes it really delicious. So enjoy your dinner this evening. You can have a rest.
I'll do.
And
I know. Although I'm going to be making that cookie dough ice cream that I promised the kids I'd make.
Oh, yum. So Denise has got that oval thermo server, and the thermo servers, that's going to keep that hot now for a couple of hours. So, it's after 3, she can pop the lid on that, and in a couple of hours get dinner ready, and that'll still be hot to trot, ready to eat. And you can access one of those by hosting your own cooking experience. And what that means is you and 2 guests, and that can be either on Zoom or when we can get back in your home face to face. So you can choose, but it's a great way to access the Thermos service. So we've got lots of different options for our host rewards. So I'm glad you used that today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Beautiful. All righty. Olivia, are you going to chop up your slice and show us? Are you ready for that yet?
Yep.
Yeah. Go back.
So I actually just in true kind of a MasterChef style, instead of popping it in the fridge, I put it in the freezer, not the blast chiller, but the freezer, to firm it up a bit quicker. And it could do a little bit longer, but it's pretty firm, and the chocolate's all solidified on top. So there's a piece of the slice. And I've also got a bonus hot chocolate, which looks pretty good too. So I'm all set to enjoy the peace and quiet in my house whilst my two little ones are still out with Dad, hopefully for another half an hour.
Oh, so you can sit down and have a nice bit of slice and a hot chocolate in peace.
Yum.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That is absolutely. Can you tilt it down so we can see the rest of it? Have you got it all there? There we go. Oh, yummy. Lovely. Enjoy, Olivia. Thanks for presenting today.
Thanks for coming, everyone.
Brilliant job as always. Now, Julie, I'm guessing that 2 minutes is up now, so we can pop back to you and have a look at your immune booster.
That's all right. That too. And I went to strain it, but there was actually nothing to strain because it actually basically blitz everything, which I love it because that means there's lots of fiber and everything in here. I've actually got 2 shot glasses. I'm going to try and get the kids to drink it. I think it's a bit heavy on the ginger, but I'll give it a go. But it's actually really nice. So quick, 2 minutes, and I'm a bit jealous of everybody eating something, and here I am drinking an immune booster. I'm sure I'm going to make something.
I have no doubt you have something yummy on your menu, Julie. No doubt at all.
But I think definitely make this. It's actually really nice.
Yeah, it's on the list actually. People have been giving me lemons too, so I've got all those ingredients. So we'll get that happening and keep us all healthy. Now, I just noticed someone had asked about cauliflower rice in the Thermomix. You can absolutely make cauliflower rice in your Thermomix, and I think Olivia's just answered that as I'm saying it. So yeah, absolutely.
I'll go back to you.
Thank you. Have we seen? We've seen everyone, haven't we?
I think we have.
Let me double check that, because sometimes I start wrapping it up and they go, hang on, we've missed something. So, but I think we've seen it all. So we've seen 5 really good dishes today. So 2 family meals and a couple of treats and then a nice healthy juice. So it was an awesome menu selected by these gorgeous girls. I'm so proud to work with you, and you've done such a brilliant job and really didn't need me at all. But thank you for all of those who've come today. If you would like any more information about, I talked before about sort of payment options for anyone who's interested in getting a TM6, whether it be you're a non-owner or you're interested in upgrading. For those who are interested in upgrading, we've had a lot of customers recently who have bought a TM6. Some people choose to keep their other machine, and they find that when they're having big cook-ups, they use both. Other people have sold them on, and they do have a really good resale value. So have a little chat. We don't facilitate that, but we can certainly give you some advice about what other customers have experienced in relation to that. So the TM6, we didn't use any of the TM6 specific functions today that are different to the TM5 and TM31, but there is a high heat which allows you to do like caramelizing onions, browning meat, sugar work, those sorts of things. There is a slow cooked feature, which we can't ever show in a cooking class. Well, we actually have shown in a cooking class once, because one of us put it on 4 hours before and one of us showed you the start. So, but you know, you can do slow cooked meals anywhere between sort of 3 hours and 8 hours. So that's something you can pop in the morning and then at dinner's ready. We also have a sous vide function with the TM6. So there's lots of different functions. So if you'd like to explore that a little bit more, have a chat with your consultant. She might, you know, she can jump on a Zoom one-on-one to give you that information, or you can join another one of these classes. I'm sure that we'll do another one this week, seeing as it's a 7-day lockdown. So stay tuned. We'll work out with the team what night we're all free. Technically, we should be all free every night, I guess. So stay tuned. We'll do that. But as I mentioned before, payment options, we do have a 24 months interest free if you'd like to know about that. We do have 3 payments over 3 months, which is a credit card option. And we do have an option to join the team. And I actually shouldn't say that last, because it's actually one of the most desirable ways to get a Thermomix on your bench, because not only do you earn your Thermomix, but you learn about it as you're going, because there's so much, as you've experienced today, such a wealth of knowledge with the girls. And we do have one boy, but he's not here today, but with the people in the team. So that's really a great reason to join, and we sort of say earn and learn at the same time. I will stay on now if anyone would like to know any more about how to do that. And as I said, if you would like to purchase today, please reach out to your consultant. If you're here today and you don't have a consultant, but I can hook you up with one of the girls who was presenting today as well. So please, any questions, any concerns, you will have my email address from the confirmation. So you're welcome to email me directly and ask any questions as well. And I can put you in touch with a local consultant to look after you as well. So as I mentioned, we do have until the 8th of June when you buy a TM6 up until then, the option to get a second jug for only $99. So you saw a couple of the girls today, didn't bother having to wash a jug, just pulled out the next one. They are normally $375. And for $99, it is a huge, huge benefit. So I do highly recommend that if you do purchase in the next 10 days, it's about that, right, isn't it? 8 days, it is worth grabbing that second bowl. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you to those who presented, and we are finished for today. So thank you. Happy cooking. Go forth and make something wonderful. Please feel free to send us photos and brag and all of that, because we love that.
Hey, Mish, just one thing for the lady who was interested in the cauliflower rice, if she's still here. This is actually my frozen, like, portioned cauliflower rice. So I make it and then portion it out, about 4 or 5 portions.
I'll spotlight you for a sec.
Oh, thank you.
Because it was on me. Hang on.
It is on you.
I was about to stop recording, but now that you're about to
that's Julie.
Hang on. Now that you're about to add in
here.
a little bit of
so just a little thing about the cauliflower rice. So I prefer using that to rice most of the time. So I make my own cauliflower rice, steam it, and then portion it and just lay it flat like this in the freezer. So that's one portion of cauliflower rice for me when I make rice for the rest of the family. So that will be underneath my chicken cacciatore tonight.
Thanks, Denise. You're going to save me a lot of money.
Also, yeah, exactly. How expensive is the cauliflower rice to buy? Like, why would you? But just chopping it manually would just be too hard for people, but not with a Thermomix. So good choice, whoever you are. Well done.
A lot of cooking.
There you go.
Thanks so much for that, Denise. It was a bit like I was wrapping it up and then it was like the rolling of the credits, and then you get that extra bit at the end when you watch a movie, and the people who walk out before the credits don't get that extra bit, but we got the extra bit. So so there you go. All righty. So thank you, everybody. Thank you. I'm going to stay on, but I'm going to stop recording now. So anyone who wants to share this recording with customers, it's finished. But if anyone wants to stay on and chat with me, I'm here. Bye.
Michelle,
Thank
bye.
you.